Good evening, America. This is Jacqueline Sloves from Zoziv, Ukraine. It is Monday, February 17th at 9:02 p.m. This is actually my third video diary, but I decided not to post the second one that I took just because I feel like in the past couple of weeks a lot of things have happened, and I'll just let's just skip two. Let's just go straight to three. So I sit here in my new apartment, uh, in the kitchen. I have these nice lace curtains behind me and these plants, which all houses have. This is my Christmas blanket that keeps me feeling festive year round. Um, yeah, everyone keeps saying spring is here because it's now drizzling a little bit instead of snowing, which I don't think I understand the logic behind. I mean, just because it rains doesn't mean it's spring, you know? It's like you need flowers and grass in order for it to be spring and like warmth. But the winter was surprisingly not too bad, you know? Like, yeah, it was cold a few days, but I just wore extra sweaters, put an extra scarf on, and I thought that it was going to be really boring, but I actually feel like I did a lot in the winter, like in terms of either projects or traveling, and like celebrating holidays are big to dos around here. So it really didn't feel like I was just stuck in a village in Ukraine for the winter. And I did read a lot. I read some good books. Um, Most recently, I just read Obama's book, The Audacity of Hope, which really made me not only proud to be an American, but it also made me realize how great Obama's vocabulary is and how I agree with everything he had to say in that book. So, uh, two thumbs up. uh, let's see. One thing about being here in Ukraine is that, like, I wouldn't say the novelty is worn off because there's still things that shock me practically every day. Like, I don't know. Just last week, I was invited by my PE teacher to go to a what I understood to be an artillery museum, like a field trip to an artillery museum with the third grade. And next thing you know, so we like get on the bus together, and me and these third grade boys and Volodymyr Ivanovich, and we go to the Rayon Center, which is about 12 kilometers away, and we walk over to this school, and we go down these stairs, and it's just this basement, like dingy, dark, like probably moldy basement of this school. Tiny, relatively tiny room, if you want to call it like a sports hall. Uh, and there's just all these guns laying around, and it's a shooting range. And yeah, they had all these third grade boys playing with these guns. They had them illustrate how to assemble and disassemble it. They knew what wars they were used in, how much every gun cost, which country manufactured it. So that my PE teacher kept saying, "So what do you think?" And I was like, "This is really illegal in America." And he just didn't understand how shocked I was at the whole situation. One of those cross cultural moments. So yeah, basically I still feel like I'm in this other world, you know, I still feel the amazement of discovering things. But for the most part, not for the most part, but in a lot of ways also the charm of Ukraine is starting to wear off. So, you know, things that used to be like, oh, unique and like Ukrainian, like how cool, how are kind of starting to be like, ugh. So some of the things, for example, is like I've had to move apartments, and that's because like my landlady just showed up, and it was one of those things that just happens in Ukraine where the house that you're renting is still the belongs to the person who you're renting from, and as a renter, you don't really have any rights here to say, well, I paid through a certain amount of time. So things seem to be able to change pretty quickly. And now that I'm in a new apartment, I'm having to like remake it feel like a home. And it kind of had a strange effect on my psychology for a little bit. Like I had been feeling pretty good about life in Zozu, but the whole moving process is just, it's really weird to pack up all your things and then be thrown into a whole and entirely new place that you have to re-get used to the feeling of it and remake it feel like home. But slowly but surely, it's happening. Um, as all things do, just takes a little time. Um, done some reflecting in terms of, last year, my New Year's resolutions, and then, if I think what I'm doing here is purposeful and stuff. And I don't think I have any great insights except for that I do feel that my work here is purposeful, just even in the sense that it's a really unique experience for me, but then also just for as an example for all these kids to see and all these people who've never met a foreigner before, showing them that like, look, you can take a risk and make a decision to go try something entirely new. And so, yeah. One thing though is that I feel like last year I gave myself a lot of excuses of saying like, oh, I'm adjusting, or oh, this is new. I don't understand the language. I don't understand the school system. And I don't know if I use it as an excuse, but I was very. I don't feel like I feel like I did some projects, but I feel like I just use that as an excuse a lot to say like, oh, like I can't teach this lesson because the kids don't understand me, which really, yeah, my Ukrainian is not perfect, but I could teach some lessons, and so right now I've kind of figured out the flow. I think it would be easy for me to just kind of be complacent and keep showing up to school every day and visiting lessons. But this year I really want to try and focus on really teaching a lot more than I have been, and like really trying to initiate more projects than I have. Like I've gotten some books donated, and I've gotten some money to redo the gymnastics hall, and I'm at school every day, so I interact with kids every day, and I teach some English, but for the most part, I think that I could be doing more. And so this is the year to be on the plateau where I'm really, the excitement of adjusting is gone, and I'm definitely nowhere near the end of this journey, so I have to stay really focused and present in the middle.